वासुदेवेन्द्र योगीन्द्रं नत्वा ज्ञानपदं गुरुं मुमुक्षूणां हितार्थाय तत्त्वबोधो विधीयते. We'll chant. ततः तत्त्व विवेकस्य अधिकारिणः भवन्ति. तत्त्व विवेकः कः? आत्मा सत्यं तद् अन्यत् सर्वं मिथ्या इति. आत्मा कः? स्थूल सूक्ष्म कारण शरीरात् व्यतिरिक्तः पंचकोशातीतः सन् अवस्थात्रय साक्षी सच्चिदानंद स्वरूपः सन् यः तिष्ठति स आत्मा. स्थूल शरीरं किं? पंचीकृत पंचमहाभूतैः कृतं सत्कर्मजन्यं सुख दुःखादि भोग आयतनं शरीरम् अस्ति. जायते वर्धते विपरिणमते अपक्षीयते विनश्यति इति षड्विकारवत् एतत् स्थूल शरीरम्. As we have been discussing that the self-inquiry is to be done. That to tatah thereafter means when the person has got all the qualifications, starting with viveka, vairagya, shamadamadi satka sampatti and mumukshutva. Then what does the person do? Makes one's own self available for self-inquiry. And what is that self-inquiry? Between Satya and Mithya. Satya, truth, means that which exists in 3 periods of time. Mithya means it appears as the truth, but in reality it is not. We'll be seeing in details as time comes. Then okay, if this the truth is Atma, other than that everything is false, then what is that Atma? So we discussed also that the Atma who is more than these 3 bodies, and of course again free from all koshas, 5 koshas, the one who witnesses 3 fields of experiences, starting with waking, dream and deep sleep. And it exists, not that it is not, it doesn't exist. And what is that? Sat Chit Ananda Swarupa, the pure existence, the awareness and the happiness. That is called me, that is called Atma. Oh, is this case? Then if this is the case, then what do you mean by this? But I look at me as this body. I am tall, I am small, I am young, I am old. So, what you call as your body, in reality, you are not the owner of your body either. So that is what we were trying to see. So what is that body? So this gross body is made up of 5 grossified elements through a process called grossification, which we will see later on. Then this body is something made out of good karma, good actions that we have done in our previous life. Because we are lucky enough that both the legs are working, both the hands are working, liver is functioning, kidney is functioning, everything is functioning. Imagine, forget about that. If there is a pain on your just one of the finger, okay? Just one small pain in one finger, whole day is gone. And luckily, all this system is working perfectly. There can be thousands of reasons that it should not work. But in spite of that, it works. It coordinates. So far it is coordinating. So that means it is because of our previous punya. That's why we have got this body. That means very clear. With reference to the body, you cannot really have any choice, or you cannot claim, or you cannot overdo, you cannot do anything. Because remember, body is not your property. That one has to understand is the first and foremost thing for a sadhaka. Because if you look at body as your property, you cannot be a mumukshu. Because remember, along with the body, everything moves. The relationship that you create is again connected to what? Mainly to the body. And the wealth that you have is connected to what? To the body. Everything is connected to the body. So the way you look at your body, remember this is the most important aspect for a sadhaka. The way you look at your body, the way you address your body, accordingly you will have people, you will have relationship, you will have wealth, you will have power, you will have everything. Because the way you look at the body, accordingly everything moves around. So that's why a sadhaka has to be very clear and careful with reference to body, or else time will be late. Why I am highlighting this point here is because this body is something called ayatanam, so that we have to really understand that when it says ayatanam, so ayatana bhoga ayatanam, it is an abode to experience both pain and pleasure. So being an abode, being a indirect means, a tool, a place, a location through which we experience pain and pleasure. And what is that pain and pleasure? Remember, all pain and pleasure again is related that whatever you have done in your previous life. Because the people, those who come in front of you, please understand, already it has got something to do with your previous life. You have to be very clear and careful. You have a very marginal, gap, very small gap. Who comes in front of you, you don't have choice. But how you can manage, how can you move, that is at your hand. You can decide. That's why nobody wants to meet accident, but everybody goes through the accident. Why? What is the reason behind it? Because what is going to come in front of you, you are helpless with reference to that. But how you negotiate, how you manage, it is completely at your disposal. So that's why here it says that you have to understand the body is a tool, the body is an abode, or because of whose presence you are able to experience both pain and pleasure. But don't think that your body is the cause of pain. Don't think the body is the cause of pleasure. The problem is here, common people think that body is in the beginning the cause of pleasure. That's why they get engrossed with the body. So the life becomes, we call Sharira Sarvasva. Completely depends upon the body. Like remember long old example, one heroine did insurance for one finger, some millions, okay? One finger insurance went in millions because it doesn't have anything to do, what else to do, so somewhere something goes wrong, it doesn't know. And imagine, same heroine, after a few years when she is out, then what happens? Will anybody look at her? Will anybody really bother about her? There are many heroines have come and gone. In fact, their lifespan is so less. That's why they try their level best to extract as much as possible, so that after that they can settle down. You understand? But don't worry, they never get settled down. That's another history, okay, another story. So here, what I am trying to highlight here is, you have to understand how you look at your body, how you address your body. Unless and until this is clear in you, you cannot call yourself as a mumukshu either, because sukha bhokadi ayatanamiti. This being the award to experience pain and pleasure. And not only that, interestingly, the body has got 6 modifications. Your body is not stable. Your body is not steady. The body is not permanent either, because it goes through 6 modifications. And what are they? Says beautifully, asti. It is, sometimes we say asti means that it was in the seed form. Both way you take it. Then comes jayate, is born. Vardhate, starts growing. Viparinamate, some changes takes place at teenager time, metamorphosis. Some changes suddenly. You discover, men discover there are some voice change and whatnot, mustache, also say also girls. Then apakshyate, then after that what happens? The age comes, then it starts decaying. Then finally what happens? Vinashyati, destruction. So that means the body goes through 6-fold modification. So that means if there is some change in your body, good. That is not supposed to be. In fact, if you look at your body, every moment, millions of cells are dying. Millions. In fact, if you look at your body, it's full of dead cells. The skin, what you say skin is nothing, millions of dead cells. That's why any moment you rub your body, any moment, okay, you will see some dust will come out. And what is that dust? The dirt. What is that dirt? Remember, they are dead cells. Means every moment your body goes through change. So that means you should not focus all your activities on your body. And I have seen people, whoever has focused all activities based on the body and related to the body, definitely that fellow becomes a miserable person as the body becomes weaker. And the job of the body is what? To become weaker. That's why it says, etat stula sarira. May you know, this is your gross body. So that's why be aware of your gross body first. So your job is to take care of your body, not to get engrossed. In fact, not to encash. Not to engross or not to encash, but to take care. We'll see next. Then, okay, fine. But you said first, Stula Sukshma Karana Sarirat Vyatirikta. Okay, I understand Stula Sarira, gross body. What about Sukshma Sharira? What about this subtle body? Now next question the student asks. Sukshma Shariram Kim. In answer, Apanche Kruta Panchamaha Bhutehi Krutam Satkarma Janyam Sukha Dukkhadi Bhoga Sadhanam Pancha Jnanendriyani Pancha Karmendriyani Pancha Pranadaya Manaschaikam Buddhischaikivam Saptadasa Kalavi Saha Yaha Tishthate Tat Sukshma Shariram. He says, Tat Sukshma Shariram. That is called subtle body. And what is that subtle body? Yaha Tishthati. That which exists. So how it is exist? He says, Saptadasa Kalavihi, with 17 parts. Somewhere also is being highlighted 19 parts. We'll see. Sometimes 17, sometimes they say 19. So why the difference? That also will say. Okay, what are these 17? Says beautifully that this is also made up of Pancha Mahabhutaihi, made up of 5 elements. As the gross body is made up of 5 elements, subtle body also is made up of 5 elements. But there is a difference. When gross body is made up of 5 grossified elements, here the subtle body is made up of 5 ungrossified elements. As I gave a hint yesterday, that generally scientific mind or intellectual mind, analytical mind will not understand this at all. Here mind doesn't work. So here we say there is something called grossified, there are gross elements, there is something called subtle elements. Means in short, this mind is made up of 5 subtle elements. Okay? At the same time, you can see the difference, you can see, understand the comparison between subtle body and gross body. 5 elements, but that is grossified, this is ungrossified, subtle. Secondly, that was also Satkarma Janyam, made up of your good deed that you have done in your previous life, born out of good things that you have done. Here also same thing, Satkarma Janyam. That's why your mind is functioning. You are not mentally retarded. You are not mentally challenged. Remember. Thank God. Not only that, you are able to hear. Not only your ear is there, you are able to hear and process. You have thinking faculty. Okay, whether you use or abuse or misuse, that is your problem. That is not point. But the God has given you. And how God has given? Based on the work that you have done previous life. Because God doesn't decide, oh, okay, this fellow is good, let me give him good. This fellow is bad, let me give him bad. That is not the God's job, okay? What you did in your previous life, based on that you get. As I told you, why you are tall? Don't ask to anybody. Why you are short? Don't also ask. Why you are fair? Don't ask, because of your karma that decides your body shape and size. It has nothing to do with the gene. Even the people try to talk about the gene. My question is about the gene. Why are you born to these parents? Even maximum of them don't like their parents, okay? Very rarely will come across who likes their parents. Very rarely. And interestingly, I have seen those who do like very much their parents, they never stay with their parents. I do not know how it happens, okay? So anyway, coming back here, point is, so even though none of us in general like parents, but my question is, why we were born to those people, not other people? Again, what happens is your karma. Means gene has nothing to do with your body. Even the scientifical, they try to decide that you get into this gene. Why? Because of your karma. You understand the point what I am trying to say? And here he says that you have got beautiful mind. You have got thinking faculty. You are able to understand. You are able to listen. You are able to talk. All these sense organs are functioning. Again, it's because of what? Because of your purva punya karma, the karma that you did in your previous life, that result has come to you. And not only that, he says beautifully, so that was bhoga ayatanam. Bhoga ayatanam means abode to experience both pain and pleasure. Here he says bhoga sadhanam. This is the difference. Sadhana means. So we explain very carefully. It is like a counter and the person over there in the counter. Suppose, let us say, a bank counter is opened. You have gone to the bank, there is a counter is open, but the person who is supposed to do the transaction is not there. Even though the counter is open, if the person is not there, can any transaction take place? Definitely not. In fact, they put it closed. Bank is open, but the person has not come. It is closed. So also, now another way. Now the person is standing in front, outside the bank, with the key and everything, including sometimes the cash, okay? Some cash van has come or something like that. But the counter is not opened. Can there be any transaction? So transaction to take place, you need both the counter and as well as the person. So here we can say the counter, the award is gross body, and the person, the dealing assistant, is subtle body. So that means where there is subtle body and gross body, then only the experience happens comfortably. Suppose subtle body has gone somewhere, experience cannot happen. That's why doctors give anesthesia before operation. You try to take a painkiller to make sure that the subtle body, the relationship between subtle body and gross body is being cut. There is no communication between subtle body and gross body. That's why what happens, you can say the network is down, okay? Nowadays, what bankers say, okay? Yes, I am ready in the bank. Counter is open, everything is open, but what can I do? Network is down. Please wait, okay? Once the network is up, we will do it. So that's why when you have anesthesia, network is down. Or painkiller, network is down. But interestingly, sometimes if a clerk doesn't want to do, dealing assistant doesn't want to do work, purposefully says network is down. So that's why sometimes you also do your network down. How? Having some intoxicated food, whether it's wine or marijuana or different things altogether, you understand? So that you bring down your network. Enough? So I want to enjoy my life in a different way. You understand what is the life here? So he says beautifully. So you have to understand, in order to experience Sukham and Dukkham, both pain and pleasure, you need this both subtle body and gross body together. That's why, which we'll be talking in details, when a person dies, the gross body is lying down. Sometimes eyes are open, but the person cannot see. Because subtle body is not there. And of course, in different cases like ghost cases, subtle body is very active, very strong, but gross body is not there. Poor fellow will be there hanging around, but cannot experience, no transaction. So we need both together. That's why he says beautifully, that being bhoga is sadhanam, then what are these 17 parts? He says, pancha jnanendriyani, 5 organs of perceptions. So when you say 5 organs of perceptions, eyes, ear, nose, tongue and skin. So all these 5 organs of perceptions, then also 5 pancha karnendriyani, 5 organs of actions, bak, pani, pada, payu, upasthaiti. So the organs of speech, hand, leg, then organ of expression. So here when it talks about these 5 organs of actions put together, then this is called, perception and actions put together is called 10. Then finally comes pancha pranadaya, 5 pranas, starting with prana apana. So that means 15. Then manaha, mind, and buddhi, intellect. We'll see in details. So don't worry, what are they? They will talk in details. So when he says mana and buddhi, these two together, some places he says mana, buddhi, chittam, ahankara. Some people talk this, they separate it. So where they added Chittam and Ahankara, it becomes not 17, it becomes 19. If Chittam and Ahankara is not added, it will be called as 17. So here is being taken as 17 part. As, okay, you can say that's fantastic. I understand. But now I would like to know what is all about this 5 organs of perception. Pancha Jnanendriyani. What are they? It itself will talk. Shrotram, Tvak, Chakshu, Rasana, Granam, iti Pancha Jnanendriyani. So these are the 5 organs of perception. And what are they? Shrotram, ear, Tvak, the skin, Chakshu, the eye, Rasana, the tongue, and finally Granam, and the nose. So these are the 5 organs of perception. So through these you start perceiving. Most important thing here is we say organs of perception, or here is called as Jnanendriyani, which brings knowledge. So you have to understand the job of all these 5 organs of perception is to bring the knowledge to you, to bring the information to you. But generally what you do, you always abuse them. You always misuse them. So you make your eyes crazy. Hey, see this, see that. Then what happens? So once the eye is addicted because of the mind, then what happens? Now eyes will make you crazy. That's why sometimes in the night, when you daytime whole day, you are so busy with many things. Night when you close your eyes, so physically you have closed eyes, but eyes are already open. You understand? Goes crazy, means will not have sleep, nothing. So you start thinking this, that, all these things will happen because you have abused or misused your organs of perception. You can see in the night or when you take rest, when you are tired, how it is reflected, whether all your organs of perception listens to you or not. We say beautifully. When you lie down, the moment you lie down, if all your organs of perceptions are listening to you then and there, that means you have used or using your organs of perception properly. If the organs of perceptions are used extensively, whichever way, definitely, moment you try to close your eyes or try to close all your organs of perceptions, they will not listen to it. That's why many people do not sleep. You know, they will take the help of the pillow to sleep. This way, that way, that way, that way. Then suddenly you discover you are dead. However, coming back, okay, I understand. Here is a beautiful point, highlights few other points. We do not look at this, the beauty. We just do not look at ordinarily these organs of perception. So we have a different approach altogether. Because each organs of perception has a presiding deity. Because the ear cannot hear unless there is a deity. This is called subtle aspect. The eyes cannot see unless the deity is active. So deity means what? That a given aspect of the energy. That is called deity. So each organs of perception has its presiding deity. So it says, with this we'll stop it. Let us read. Shrotrasya digdevata tvachaha vayuho chakshushaha suryaha rasanaya varunaha ghanasya ashvino iti jnanendriya devata. So these are the Jnanendriya Devatas, the presiding deity of the organs of perceptions. What are they? They say Shrotrasya Digdevata. So for the ear, we call as the space is the deity. That's why the hearing happens only because of the space. So if there is no space, there is no hearing either. So space becomes the presiding deity of hearing. That's why if you are not able to hear properly, learn to give space, learn to create space in you and in others. Giving space, psychologically it works very well. Many people, you know why? Those who talk, do not care anybody, do not listen to anybody, only they become deep next life. In this life also, because when you are too much within yourself, what other person talks, you don't listen. Sometimes I notice people, they just vomit, they talk, you cannot handle them, okay? Because they are too much within themselves. They don't give the space at all. So learning to give the space if you are not able to hear. Creating a space in you and giving space to others. Psychologically looking at. Tvachaha vayuhu. So when he says Tvachaha vayuhu, again here he says, the air becomes presiding deity of skin. That's why if there is a skin disease and other things, be careful with reference to air. Where you are moving, means don't expose too much. You have to be very careful. These are the small things, it works beautifully. Chakshushaha Suryaha. For the eyes, the presiding deity is sun. That's why who has got eye problem, if it does sun worship, definitely eye problem will be taken care. Rasanayaha Varunaha. So for tongue, Varuna Devata, the water, the presiding deity, the Varuna Devata, so the one who lives in water. So that means if you really want, you have some taste issue, please take care of water. And finally, Granasya, for smell, Aswinu. So there are twins called Aswini Kumara, that's why Aswini. So there are twins who happens to be, they are called, they were brought down the medicine. So they are the Vaidyas, the best Vaidyas, best doctors. So here he says, look, the smell is related to that. So take care of, all the periphery and doctors, okay? Then your smell will be taken care. Just I am trying to give you psychological aspect, but in reality it is looked in this way that, remember, unless and until all these presiding deities are active, your organs of perception will not function fully. So the organs of perception functions based on the activeness of presiding deities. More of it we'll see tomorrow. Please close your eyes. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnahat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.